Hey guys, this is Will from Going Awesome Places, and I'm back for another video in the Level Up Your Home Office series. Well, it's finally time to reveal the office that I've been working on, building, and tinkering with for the past couple months. This really came about because of all the time I was spending at home and needing a space that I wanted to be in, was ergonomic and had all the equipment I needed to be productive, and finally was a space that represented me as a content creator. So I don't have a lot of footage of the space pre-renovation, but here's a look at what I started off with. As you know, I recently added my DIY walnut shelves and also the Ergonomist standing desk. There are videos of each, so make sure you watch them afterwards. The links are in the description below, and the playlist will be linked to at the very end of this video. I went into detail about each one, but I know you're probably wondering, what is all that other stuff that's featured in the home office, and what are some of the new changes that I've made since? All right, let's check it out. I'm really proud of this project the most. These are two custom-built walnut shelves with triangle brackets from Amazon that are very similar to what West Elm sells. From an incredibly bare wall, this gave me open shelf space that was perfect to put my camera bodies and lenses while also displaying some of my favorite things. In a snapshot, you can see what I'm all about just by looking at what's on the shelves. The only drawback, of course, is all the dust it attracts, but I guess that's what the Swiffer is for. To dual monitor or not, that was the initial question, but I scrapped that entirely when I discovered this giant 34-inch widescreen monitor by Dell. I love that I can have a super clean single monitor arm while giving me all the real estate I need to have two browsers side by side and an extremely long timeline to work with for video editing. Instead of two giant M-Audio studio monitor speakers, I wanted to downsize them without sacrificing too much on audio quality. It seemed like all the hip YouTubers were using these AudioEngine A2 Pluses, so I decided to give them a try, and boy was I not disappointed. The only tweak I made was mashing them up with the Kanto S2 tilted speaker stands for a full white setup. Every successful YouTuber needs to have colored lights, right? So I picked up a Hue Go, a Hue Play double kit, along with a dimmer switch, and decided to forgo a proper desk light because the backlighting was actually easier on the eyes, and there's always my ceiling light. The colors are fully customizable, you can change the brightness, and you can have different modes preset on the dimmer switch, so all you have to do is tap once and twice to get to them. What was a little bit more complicated though was setting up the Hue Plays to work behind the monitor, so it's worth me diving into that right now. The key to all this is the single Vivo desk mount with two monitor arms. The top play light sits a little precariously in between the monopod extender and monitor, and it's stuck on by some double-sided gel tape. The second one perfectly screws in upside down into a hole left by removing one of the segments of the bottom arm. The included hex screw secures it, and that's pretty much it. Alongside the playlights, the webcam setup by repurposing some old gear is perhaps the most complicated, but it's tied into everything that we've talked about so far. With so many conference calls, trade shows, and live streams, this was a key piece to figure out, and thanks to Matthew and Sina's video, I was able to put together something that's super clean. It starts off with the monitor arms. You have to purchase two identical ones by Vivo, but only use one pole. Then you need a pack of camera screw adapters, a monopod extender, and a ball head from a tripod you're not using anymore. The trick is figuring out that on the bottom end of the monopod extender, you need to make sure that both ends of this are 3/8 inch, where you then screw on that silver spigot screw. On the top end of the extender, you'll need to convert a 1/4 inch to a 3/8 inch screw so that the ball head can screw on. Once you have all that ready, you can now screw the whole thing onto the bottom monitor arm. Only a 1/4 inch screw will fit in the hole, so just make sure you grab the right side of a screw and tighten it up like you see me doing right now. The monopod extender is needed so that you can bring it up when you have your DSLR webcam set up and drop back down to hide it behind the monitor when you're not using it. Thanks to Canon's new software, you no longer need a complicated HDMI to USB adapter for the camera. You can simply plug in the camera from micro USB to regular USB. For permanent power, you'll need to buy an adapter for your camera so that you don't need to worry about charging battery packs. This is 10 folds better than any regular webcam, and if you pop on a lens like the 16 to 35mm at f2.8, you'll definitely be the best looking on your next Zoom call with that natural bokeh. When you're done, take off the camera, unplug everything, drop the monopod, and put the camera back on the shelf. What's also important is cable management, and with a combination of the monitor arm cable clips and Velcro ties, you can clean it up nicely, or at least hide it all behind the monitor. When it comes to my MacBook Pro, I didn't want to take up primary desk space, so I have it off to the right. I'm fully utilizing all 4 Thunderbolt ports, and I have it docked on an aluminum laptop stand. Behind the monitor, I also have a small USB hub, just for all the different new connections that I have. The Samsung T7 SSD is a workhorse of mine for all my video editing. This new version is also secured by fingerprint ID. For my desk, I currently use the Ergonomist Shift 2.0 standing desk, and it's a huge improvement over what I had before. If you haven't watched the video, make sure you find out what I did to finally solve the cable management problem. I've also upgraded to the 3M VHB double-sided tape to help secure the power cable on the left leg of the desk. Other things that you'll see on the desk are the Londo faux leather pad that gives the space a splash of color and class. I also added an under-table wireless charger, which I got from AliExpress. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and overall, it's a little bit slow. Another key area that goes hand in hand with the DSLR webcam setup is the microphone situation. This is also important for voiceovers and if I ever decide to pick up podcasting again. Originally, I had a complicated boom setup with a Rode shotgun mic, but I realized all I really need is one mic to make this work. I just need a better boom arm, and that's where the Blue Compass one really shines, as it comes up taller than where my monitor sits and has built-in cable management. The microphone feeds into the Focusrite Scarlett Solo via XLR connection and into the computer via USB/Thunderbolt. To record my voiceovers, I use this Monoprice microphone isolation shield, which works great. However, because of the hardwood floor and general lack of dampening in the room, I've had to use makeshift felt materials I found in the house to reduce the bouncing of sound above and below the mic, which has drastically improved my voiceovers. For conference calls, I simply pull the mic close to me, but out of view of the webcam. This is the forever classic Herman Miller Aeron. I used these chairs in previous workplaces, and when it came time to upgrade my Ikea chair, I knew this was the one to get. Thing is, these chairs are insanely expensive brand new, so I went on the hunt in the used market for one and ended up picking one up for 350 Canadian dollars, a steal. For me, this chair is near perfect when it comes to ergonomics. It's got the right amount of lumbar support, has great ventilation, doesn't hurt my butt after long use, and has the right amount of tilt and rebound. Taking things a step further, I pimped the chair out by adding an Engineer Now aftermarket headrest, which matches the material exactly. I also added these Stealtho rollerblade caster wheels that allowed me to remove the chair mat I used to have. Using these upgraded wheels have been pretty awesome with their super smooth movement. They also have brake pedals on 2 of the wheels to prevent the chair from sliding if you have uneven floors like I do. If you haven't figured out yet, I'm a bit OCD when it comes to organization. When I started seeing this pegboard pop up in a lot of other home office walkthroughs, Pinterest, and even in the series Away, I knew that this was something I needed in my life. The beauty of the Ikea Skadis is that it's modular so that you can design it in whatever way you want. For me, there's a spot for pens, pencils, markers, and other stationery like scissors. You have a place for notebooks. You have transparent bins where they're perfect for batteries, chargers, USB keys, dongles, and other miscellaneous tools that are now easy access off the wall. You can also add a tray for more random things that you see here. Post-its also have a place here with these clips that mount onto the pegboard. Lastly, I love the hook set that you can add, which is perfect for cables. We all have serious cable organization issues, and with the help of Velcro ties, I've been able to sort mine by Lightning, USB-C, and micro USB. Looking for a good garbage and recycle bin was harder than I thought, but found this awesome Simple Human bin that combines the two and doesn't take up too much space. If you're investing in a sit-stand desk, a good anti-fatigue mat is essential. You've also probably noticed that I have a few things in the shelves to the right, so I'll touch on that quickly. I recently upgraded to a Brother multi-purpose laser printer, and I like that I can quickly pick up documents to the right that I print out, but one of the drawbacks is that the scanner is a bit difficult to use because of the lack of headroom. Next to it, I also have a Drobo 5C, which is what I use to back up all of my media files. Another thing I'm super proud of is the more efficient use of wall space. In my office, there's a small nook on the right side, and it just seemed like the perfect space to be able to hang all of the various Peak Design camera bags that I have. Before, I would just leave them lying on the ground, or I would stuff them in the closet, but with this, I have a nice display of some sweet bags. They no longer clutter the floor, and I can quickly access them if I need to. Next to them, I also have a document organizer, which is where I collect things like receipts, invoices, and other miscellaneous papers. Now, this is a new addition. I don't collect that many things when I travel, but one of the things I do buy are magnets, and boy do I have a lot of them. With no good place to put them, I turned again to Ikea and 2 different magnetic boards, the Sodergarn and Svensa. I didn't really know what to do with this side of the wall for a while, but going on a renovation tear, I realized that I could use this space to organize all of my travel magnets. Measuring out the space, I mounted them one by one, and once ready, I put all the magnets I have. One thing I did notice is that both styles aren't extremely strong magnetically compared to, say, a fridge, and so there were some that I simply couldn't put up because they would just drift down by gravity. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this all turned out. At this point, something still felt a bit missing though. There's one last piece to this video that'll be the cherry on top. Thanks to my friends at Saltwreck on Etsy from Nova Scotia that specializes in Canadian map art, I have 2 final pieces to complement the space. After framing them up and then figuring out the math on how to mount it, I finally put up these 2 gorgeous pieces that are all about my home. Home is Toronto, home is Canada. Well, that about covers everything in the home office workspace. I know I covered a whole bunch of different gear, organizers, and doohickeys, but don't worry if you missed them, because in the description down below, there's going to be a link to the full kit of everything that I featured in this video, so you can figure out where to buy them, learn more about these products, or just pick and choose what you want to use for your home office. Well, what's next? Well, there's that awkward little gap between the desk and the wall. I'm still trying to figure out something for that, so you'll see that in the next video. In the meantime, it's really about enjoying the space that I've created, as it looks like we'll be grounded for a little bit, but hey, that's okay. If you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video.